You reach for the nearest shoe. The moment you see one, your whole body reacts. Disgust first, and then the raw instinct to crush it immediately. No insect on Earth is hated quite like this one, but almost everything that hatred is based on is wrong. Here on Wild Planet TV, the familiar stops being what it seems, so subscribe. The roach in your kitchen is less than 1% of them. The rest quietly hold entire ecosystems together, unseen and unthanked, and one of them may hold a cure that saves you. So why do we hate the cockroach more than almost anything? Part of it is ancient, wired deep into our instincts. They appear suddenly, they move fast, and they vanish into cracks. We link them with filth, disease, and neglected, dirty places. For most people, a cockroach means something has gone wrong, and in the moment, that reaction feels completely natural and fully justified. But here is the first thing that reputation gets badly wrong. The cockroach you picture is almost never the real cockroach. You are imagining one insect out of thousands of species, a single, unusually pushy tenant standing in for an entire family. It would be like judging all birds by a single pigeon. The truth about this insect is far stranger than discussed. It is one of the toughest animals ever to have lived. It is cleaner and far more social than you would ever guess. And out in the wild, it is quietly, genuinely essential. To understand why, we have to start with a simple failure.
The reason you can almost never manage to hit one. Think of the last time you tried to swat a roach. You were fast, you were certain, and it was already gone. That is not luck, and it is not your slow hand. The cockroach felt you coming before you ever moved close. At its rear sit two small sensory tails called cerci. These cerci are covered in hundreds of tiny, fine hairs. Each hair detects the faintest change in the surrounding air. Your hand pushes a soft wave of air ahead of it. The cerci read that wave like an early warning system. They feel the exact direction the danger is coming from. The signal races to the legs, skipping the brain almost entirely. The roach begins to turn and run in a few milliseconds. That is faster than you can consciously decide to strike. It can pivot away and sprint before your hand arrives. At full speed, it covers about 50 body lengths every second. Scaled to your size, that is a blur faster than any car. You are not fighting an insect, you are fighting physics, and physics is only the beginning of what this body can survive. The cockroach is built to survive things that should kill it. Start with the strangest claim, the one everybody has heard. A cockroach can genuinely survive for many days without its head. As completely unbelievable as that sounds, it is entirely verifiably true. To understand it, forget how a human body works. You breathe through your mouth and nose into your lungs.
The cockroach does not. It breathes through its body instead. Tiny holes along its sides, called spiracles, take in air. Each one feeds oxygen directly to the tissue around it. It does not need a head to keep on breathing. It also has no fragile network of high-pressure blood vessels. Its blood drifts freely inside, under almost no pressure at all. So losing the head does not cause it to bleed out. The headless body can stand, move, and react for days. In the end, it dies simply because it cannot drink. Not from the injury, but from ordinary thirst and hunger. Now take that toughness and push it much, much further. Cockroaches can endure radiation that would kill you many times over. Their simple bodies and slow cell division shrug off the damage. They would not truly inherit a ruined world, but they would endure. And this astonishing endurance is not some recent evolutionary trick. Cockroaches have crawled this planet for over 300 million years. They watched the great forests of the Coal Age rise and fall. They were here long before the dinosaurs took a single step. They even survived the vast extinction event that erased the dinosaurs entirely. No animal on Earth wears the word survivor more completely. But here is where the reputation gets things exactly backwards. We call the cockroach filthy, yet it is obsessively clean. A cockroach spends much of its time grooming its own body. It pulls each long antenna through its mouth to clean it.
Those antennae are its most important sensory tool of all. A dirty antenna cannot smell the world clearly, so it cleans them. It wipes its legs and face like a cat washing itself. The filth we blame it for comes from where it lives, not from the animal itself, which keeps remarkably clean and tidy. And the cockroach is far more social than you imagine. Most species prefer to gather together in tight, shared groups. They lay down chemical trails, called pheromones, in their own droppings.
These scents tell others where the group has chosen to shelter. A good crack, discovered by one, is soon found by many. But it goes far beyond simply following a chemical trail. Cockroaches can actually make decisions together as a small, united collective. Researchers at the Free University of Brussels tested this directly. They gave groups of roaches two identical shelters to choose from. The insects pooled together under one, dividing themselves almost evenly. They were balancing safety and numbers against limited crowded space. Then the team added tiny robots, scented to smell like roaches. The real cockroaches accepted the machines as part of the group, and the robots could gently steer the group's shelter choice. A cockroach democracy, quietly guided by a handful of robots. This is real, genuine collective intelligence, not mindless swarming underfoot. If cockroach minds surprised you, comment the word minds below. Now for the misunderstanding that sits at the heart of everything.
When you say cockroach, you mean the few that invade homes, but there are around 4,600 cockroach species, and fewer than 1 in 100 ever live with humans. Less than 1% are the pests we know and loathe. The other 99% want nothing to do with us. They live in forests, deserts, caves, and rotting logs worldwide. Most people will never knowingly see a single wild one. Even the few household pests carry a strangely revealing hidden history. Consider the small, common one we call the German cockroach. The Germans, however, do not call it German at all. To them, it is often the Russian or the foreign roach. In Russia, it has sometimes been called the Prussian instead. Nobody, it seems, wants to claim this tiny, unwanted guest. Each country simply blames its neighbor for the pest's origin. It likely came from Asia and spread with human trade. It is a passenger of our cities, following our warmth and food. A creature of human making, not of the natural world. So set that rare house guest aside for a moment now. The real story is out there, in the wild 99%. In the wild, the cockroach has a humble, vital job. It is one of nature's greatest and most tireless natural recyclers. Wild roaches feed on dead leaves, wood, and fallen debris. They chew through the litter carpeting the floor of forests. Inside their gut live microbes that break down tough plant fiber. They turn dead material into rich, usable soil once again.
This quiet, thankless work matters most in warm, wet, tropical rainforests. There, dead plants pile up faster than almost anywhere else. Without decomposers, that litter would slowly smother the whole living forest. Cockroaches help unlock the vital nitrogen trapped inside those dead leaves. Nitrogen is the nutrient that every growing plant depends on. By recycling it, they quietly fertilize the soil around them. Their droppings feed the very trees that dropped the leaves. In poor tropical soils, this slow service is genuinely priceless. The trees you admire may be standing thanks to roaches. It is unglamorous, invisible work carried out in total, silent darkness. No one thanks the insect turning death back into life. Yet entire forests quietly lean on this endless, completely thankless labor. And in some places, that labor reaches truly staggering scales. For that, we descend into one of the darkest places on Earth. Deep in the island of Borneo lie the vast Gomantong caves. Inside, the total darkness hides an entire ecosystem built on cockroaches. Millions of bats and birds roost high in the black ceiling. Constantly, their droppings rain down onto the cavern floor. That falling waste steadily piles into enormous, slowly shifting dark mounds. And crawling across those mounds are countless thousands of roaches. They devour the waste that would otherwise choke the cave. In doing so, they become food for a whole hidden world.
Crabs, spiders, and other hunters feed upon the roaches. The entire cave food web rests on these humble, unseen recyclers. Remove the cockroaches, and that dark ecosystem simply collapses. Above ground, others perform a gentler, more surprising service. Some cockroach species visit flowers in the quiet of night. As they feed, they carry pollen from one bloom to another. A handful of plants are pollinated mainly by these roaches. The insect of the gutter is also sometimes a pollinator. Recycler, cave keeper, and pollinator, all inside one small hated body. And its most valuable gift to us is still to come. For centuries, the cockroach has been a symbol of disease, so the very next discovery feels almost impossible to fully accept. The cockroach may help us fight the deadliest infections we face. Think about where this insect chooses to spend its life. It thrives in filthy places, absolutely crawling with dangerous, deadly bacteria.
To survive there, its body had to become a fortress. Inside its tissues, it makes powerful germ-killing molecules of its own. Scientists call these tiny natural weapons its own antimicrobial peptides. In 2010, researchers in Nottingham made a discovery. They studied molecules taken from cockroach and locust brains. In the lab, those molecules killed truly dangerous bacteria. They destroyed strains of E. coli and the superbug MRSA. These are hospital infections that resist our strongest antibiotics.
The insect we crush may point toward the medicines of tomorrow. If that flipped how you see this animal, share this video now. And the cockroach body hides one more astonishing secret. One tropical species does something no roach is expected to do. It feeds its developing young with a kind of internal milk. That milk forms tiny crystals richer than almost any known food. Scientists study them as one of the most nutritious substances found. So, imagine for a moment that every cockroach vanished tonight. At first, almost everyone would celebrate that sudden, welcome silence. But the consequences would quietly ripple outward for years. The forest floor would begin to choke on undecayed litter. Nutrients would stay locked away, and poor soils would starve. The cave ecosystems would go dark and empty one by one. Countless predators would lose a reliable and abundant food source. Birds, reptiles, spiders, and mammals would all feel the loss. The collapse would be slow, invisible, and very hard to reverse. This is the paradox hidden inside the insect we despise. The roach in your kitchen truly is an unwelcome pest, but that house guest is the rare exception, not the rule. The unseen wild majority are pillars holding whole worlds up. We built a monster out of the one that followed us home. So what, in the end, are cockroaches actually good for? They recycle the dead and return life to the soil. They feed hidden ecosystems in the darkest corners of the world.
They pollinate flowers and may guard the medicine of the future. They are among the toughest survivors this planet has ever produced. The next time one darts across your floor, pause for a second. You are looking at a survivor older than the dinosaurs themselves. Not a symbol of filth, but a quiet pillar of nature. And if a hated insect can hide this much, others can too. Our next creature has eyes and a mind that will unsettle you. Next time, the jumping spider, a tiny predator that seems to think. If this changed how you see the cockroach, subscribe and stay wild.